Hello everyone and welcome to another Feed the Beast video. Today we're going to be building the frame quarry I showed a couple days ago. I'm only going to cover the second design as I said, as the other one is just unreliable and uses more power, so it's less efficient. One thing I need to note about this design is that it uses kind of a lot of resources if you want to have it running at the maximum speed. But the good thing about it is you can set it up with just a couple resources, have it running for a bit and let it generate the other resources. So you basically just build it along, I guess. So I'm going to split this video up in a few parts. First I'm going to explain the quarry, so it only goes in one direction, so you can't change directions and stuff, you can't reorganize its location. Just a basic quarry that is just going to run infinitely in one direction. Then the second thing I'm going to cover is the automatic mining circuit, so it automatically moves forward as it is done mining. Then I'm going to cover the 4-direction version, which you can move around the world as you like. I'm going to cover the controls to move it in those directions. And then lastly I'm going to have a little switch which you can use to turn off the mining, which is useful if you want to move the quarry around. So let's get into it. So this is the first thing. This is the complete quarry in all 4 directions. I'm now just going to cover everything you see here. These are the controls for the other 3 directions. This is the on-off switch, so you can just toggle that and it will stop mining, as you can see. Then we have the automatic control circuit here. That is this little square, which is basically going to automatically move the quarry forward by 1 once it is done mining. This is your storage system, which is really small at the moment, but it's basically the ender chest where all the items ends up in, and this is the place where it gets pulled out and currently just gets void using this void pipe. That's just a daytime circuit. And this is my power setup. I'm just using one ultimate hybrid solar panel. What I should note is you need a solid 160 Minecraft joules if you want to have this running at maximum speed. At minimum speed it is about half of it, so 60 Minecraft joules. But I highly advise to upgrade it to maximum speed, but you'll see how to do that in a bit. So we'll just go ahead and start building this. So like I said, I'm only going to cover the 1-direction circuit in the beginning. So what you basically want to do is go up at least 6 blocks from the surface, and I highly recommend to only use this in a Mistcraft world, otherwise you're going to waste a lot of power if you have it way up in the sky. But if you have a flat Mistcraft world, awesome, that is perfect. You're going to start out by making a 4x4, 6 blocks from the ground. And this is our little platform where we're going to put everything. So now, depending on which direction you want to be going, you're going to place your force manipulators. All the resources are in the description, by the way. You're going to place it in the direction you want it to go. So this is a little bit weird. If you place it like this, and that's just energy transferring. If you place it like this, in this fashion, facing this way, it's actually going to move in the opposite way, so over there. So if you want to have your quarry moving in that direction, you need to place it like this. I want to have it moving in the opposite direction, so I'm just going to pick this side and then just place 2 of them on top of each other. Check the direction. If it says up or down, it means you were flying too high or low when you placed this. So for me it says north, these both say north, so it's working. Then the second thing you want to do is click on this anvil icon so it disappears on both of them. If you don't do this, this will mess up and it's not going to work. Then you're also going to want to disable this redstone square so it says nothing, so just click twice And that is all you really need to do for these buttons. Now for the control circuit, we're going to place a block in front of the bottom one, then grab a comparator and an ender chest. And now you can just color code this using whatever color you want to, but this is the control circuit, so you're going to need to grab something that isn't already taken by something else. So I'm just going to grab orange. So once there is an item in this chest, it's basically going to power this block, causing this force manipulator to start doing something. What the bottom one is going to do is move the top one over to this spot right here. And once the top one is moved, it's going to get powered by the same block here, which is basically going to move all the other stuff on the quarry. So to configure these two blocks, we're going to click on the bottom one and then grab one cube mode thing, whatever it's called, put it in the red square. So that's basically saying yes, you need to have a square type force field. And then you're going to grab one translation module and you're going to put that in this slot here that says up when you hover over it. So what this is doing is it's translating the force field one block up to basically the block where the top force manipulator is, which will cause this bottom one to move this one to this spot. So that's basically the most complicated part of this whole build, understanding these force manipulators. Okay, so next we're going to right click on the top one, where we're also going to put in a cube mode. And now the setup is a little bit different. We're not going to adjust any of these arrows. We're just going to put scale modules. I repeat, scale modules. We're going to put 4 of them inside this 6 square space. And that is pretty much it for these force manipulators. Okay, so next up is we're going to basically be providing a lot of power to this whole thing, and the way we're going to do that is by using Minecraft joules. So whether you're using something that generates Minecraft joules or industrial craft power or anything else, there are a lot of ways to convert power, but I highly suggest just using Minecraft joules because it's the most convenient way, because we can use these energy tesseracts. The power from the modular force field mod, which these force manipulators are from, is joules. So kind of similar to the Minecraft joules, but it works a lot different because the power is actually wireless to some extent. The range is about 15 blocks, so the engines from the modular force field mods are these coercion derivers, whatever you pronounce it, and we're going to need 12 of these to power a max speed quarry. If you only want to have it running on the slowest, you only need 6, but I'm just going to build 12 on this side here. It's the easiest one if you want to upgrade it for the 4 directions, and it is completely in the boundary of the whole thing. So I've placed 12 now, 6 on each level. And we're just going to connect all of these using energy conduits. And you can see all the stuff going on here. There's basically the other thing which is interfering. So I'm just going to break that one for a quick moment. Then we're going out one here and place 2 energy tesseracts. You will need 2 to run it at the maximum speed. And then just wrench the energy conduit, so it's orange at the tesseracts. Then set it up for the correct frequency, so frequency 1 for me, and you're pretty much good to go. Now these are all red by default, which means they are turned off. So to turn them on, you just want to click the redstone torch in the top left corner and it will turn blue, which basically indicates it's running. And this will start generating power. Just as with any other mod, the power does need some place to go. And with this one, you can't directly move it to the machine we want to power, so the mining machine. No, we first need to move it to some sort of energy storage, which is then going to redirect it to the machines, and it will evenly spread all the power. So the force manipulators, which are moving the whole thing, also need power, so it will also provide power to those. And the thing we're using to do that is the fortron capacitor we have here. So that is the machine that will provide the power. So I'm just going to remove these 4 middle blocks, place our capacitor in one of those 4 corners, and as you can see, it's not really doing anything. It's red as well, so we need to turn it on like this, and wow, there it goes. It's moving all the power to this capacitor, and yeah, also from this machine, of course. So I'm just going to break it down completely, so this guy isn't interfering anymore. We have the capacitor right now, which is fully charged at the moment, as you can see, 700 kilojoules. And there's a couple things you need to know about this. So we have a linked device thing here, which basically indicates how many devices there are in the network, which is 28 at the moment. Then transmission rate, which is very important, is 250 joules. So if I told you that a max speed quarry needs about 9 kilojoules, it probably makes sense to you that 250 joules is nothing. So how do we get this amount up? Because we really need 9 kilojoules. Well, we use the speed upgrades for that, and I'm just going to grab some. Yeah, as I said, all the resources are in the description. You will need a lot of these speed modules. So for a maximum speed quarry, you will need 9 kilojoules, so you just put in speed modules until you have enough. For a half speed, you need about 6. So for a half speed quarry, 2 stacks of speed modules is enough. For a full speed, you need 3. It's always good to have more than 9, because there's also other machines that need power, like these manipulators, so you always want to have a little bit of reserve. So 3 stacks is the sweet spot. It's also the maximum you can put in anyways. So that is our power source figured out. Next up is the mining machine, which we're going to put diagonally from this capacitor. Actually, if you want to place this good, place it in the direction you want your force field to be. So for instance, if you place it like this, facing this way, the force field will be perpendicular on the direction you're facing when placing, okay? So just right click it and put 16 scale modules. If I can actually get these, I'm just going to get a stack. You're also going to need a lot of these scale modules. So 16 scale modules in the left arrow slot. Oh, that's 32. And then 16 in the right arrow slot. If you want to make this bigger, you will need to use a chunk loader that loads an area that is bigger than 3x3 chunks. Because the chunk loader I'm going to use loads only a 3x3 chunk radius around the chunk loader. So you can make this bigger. You will need more power, but you can do that. As you can see, it's already going up in power. Now it's using 860 Js, which is 760 more. The power increase is basically determined by the amount of upgrades you put in. So 16 on each side, left and right. Then you want to put 1 scale module on the front or the back, it doesn't matter, just put 1. And then depending on how many blocks in the air you've built this, you're basically going to count how many blocks from the ground this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to put in 1 more than the amount of blocks in between. So 6 translation modules, if I have some of those, yes. And you're going to put that in the down slot. So 6 translation modules, like that. And that is everything set up except for the scale modules in the bottom. Just put in a stack, like that in down, in the other down arrow. Just a quick note, back isn't the same as down, so make sure you put it in down and not in back. So now that is all done, our force field is set up. The only thing we now need to do is grab the collection upgrade, the collection module, better said, put that in the matrix field. We also need a disintegration module, which basically removes blocks. The collection module puts blocks in the nearest chest, and then these other 4 slots can be filled up with speed modules. So if you want to have this running fast, quick, just put in 4 stacks of speed modules. And then last but not least, put 1 cube mode module in the middle one. And as you can see, everything is now set up and ready to go. So if we turn this thing on, just quickly, you will see that a red beam starts to show, which is basically the force field, and blocks are getting removed. But we haven't really set up a chest or anything, so it's just spitting out everything on top. So that is the next thing we're going to do. Grab yourself an ender chest, set it up for the right, just for the right output. I'm just going to use a complete white one because that's where we set up the collection. And because it's next to this force field projector, it detects the chest and it will put everything inside the chest. And then last, for these 4 blocks, we're going to put in our chunk loader in this last spot, and we're going to need ender pearls to power this one. I really like this one because it's only loading the chunks, which might sound a bit retarded, but it's only the chunks. It's only loading the chunks when you are on the server. So if you are not on the server for a couple days, it's not going to do anything crazy because it's not loading the chunks. It's just something I like to use because I feel more comfortable with this guy than with any other guy that just keeps it running all the time. You could of course just disable the whole thing every time you leave the server, but yeah, this is just more practical. One thing you need to note is every 8 days you will need to put new ender pearls in this guy. Okay, so now everything is set up, we can just turn this on again and we will see it going and removing 2 rows of this. The reason why I have it set up for 2 rows is because it sometimes derps and moves twice, and that way it will never like forget a line, and you will never have an ugly line in the middle of your field, which doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's just convenient and it's not really expensive to do, as it only requires 1 scale module. But anyways, that is basically it for the basic setup. Now we're going to have a look at how we are going to automate all of this. So this part you're also going to want to have chunk loaded, as these are the controls. And the reason why I'm not building the controls on the quarry is as it is really practical that you can just turn it off from one spot instead of having to go over to the quarry every time. So you're going to place your chest, no, that's the wrong one. You're going to place your chest where your resources come, so this guy here, where the resources are sent to. You're going to place that down, then you're going to grab a transport pipe. I just use a cheap one, a wooden one or something, and a normal gate, so just a normal pipe gate. You're going to put that on the wooden transfer pipe next to the chest, and the thing you're going to put this on is items in inventory redstone signal. So every time there is items going through this chest in your system, it's going to send a redstone signal. Then you're going to grab some redstone and your comparators. You're going to put 2 redstone like this, a comparator like that, another one in the opposite way. Then grab a block, put it in front of this comparator, and then a piece of redstone there. So this is basically a pulse lengthener. So whenever this thing flashes quickly, when there is no items in the chest, this pulse lengthener will basically just lengthen the last pulse and will prevent this system from bugging out. Then you're going to grab a redstone torch, put that on the side of this block, a piece of redstone dust here, grab your sticky piston, put that in front of this piece of redstone with a block on top. Then you're going to grab another repeater, put that after the piston like this, put it on 4 ticks, then a block and a torch. That is all the redstone you need to do for the control circuit, for the automatic mining stuff. Then you just want to grab your ender chest you placed here to control the whole mechanism. For me it's orange, white, orange. You're going to place that next to the other chest. Then you're just going to grab some wooden transport pipes. You're also going to need a transfer node, which is from extra utilities, and some other pipe like a cobblestone transport pipe or something. And you will also need an authority gate. So if you have all of those ready, you're going to put a wooden transport pipe on top of the ender chest by shift clicking, then a normal pipe next to it like this, a authority gate on top of the wooden pipe, which is set to items in inventory, energy pulsar. Then dig out those 2 blocks, jump in and shift click, or yeah, just click your transfer node on this cobblestone transport pipe so it connects like this. And now the last thing you want to do is put 7 of any items in this transfer node. So I've put in 7 sandstone, and then you can just fill this up again. So that is your control circuit completed. We can just quickly test it by putting a lever which basically also controls your circuit next to this redstone. Just flick it on. If you have it on like this, it basically disables the whole automatic moving part, so you can move it in any other direction if you have that set up, or you can just pause the whole thing if you want to. Flick it off and it will resume its work after it's done doing that pulse lengthener thing. So now we should see it moving, or not. Maybe we did something wrong. I'm just gonna check this quickly. Let's just try and replace it. I have no idea what's going on here, as it never did this before. Yeah, okay, so it seems to be just a weird little glitch, as when I replaced it, it worked just fine. So it's going to start mining now, and once it is done mining, we're going to see this whole circuit trigger, because as you can see, it's now detecting the items in the chest here that are going through. It's going to turn on this thing, switch on the redstone, this pulse lengthener is doing its thing, and once this is done, this torch is going to turn on, power this redstone, going to fire this piston, which is going to basically shorten the pulse for a short time, going to power off this redstone, which is going to activate this transfer node, which is then going to put all 7 items at once in this ender chest, and this authority gate is going to pull them out like that. Okay, so this is all working. So if you needed it up to this point where it's only moving one direction, I guess this is all you really need. I'll quickly show you the setup you need at your base where you do all the item sorting. So for the maximum speed, all you really need is 1 diamond authority ore gate, which is set up like this. So all of these are redstone signal off, energy pulsar. This is basically going to grab a stack of items every 0.5 seconds, I believe. So that is all you really need to know for this basic one-way mining quarry. Now I'm first going to go over the on and off switch, which is really useful. And after that I'm going to go over the 3 other directions you would maybe like to know. So before you start building the on and off switch or any of the other stuff, you're going to disable the whole mining thing, and you're also going to want to disable this force field projector, so it shows a turned off redstone torch. Then after that, you're going to be grabbing some blocks, place a block underneath the force field projector here, place another block next to it, take out this block here underneath the power block by the comparator, because you're going to place your ender chest that you're going to use to control the whole thing right there. So before you start hooking up anything, you want to give it a color. So I'm just using green for this, use whatever you want. And then once you set that up, put a comparator again facing away from the chest, which is going to power the block underneath the force field projector. So that is all the modifications you need to make on the quarry itself. And then for the control circuit, we're going to make a sort of a ender chest flip-flop, I guess, which is kind of funny. So you're going to place a chest right there with a hopper underneath, and you're also going to need a dropper, and that's about it. Yeah, of course also a button to control the whole thing. So we're going to place a dropper diagonally that is facing upwards like this, then a hopper that faces into the dropper, and a hopper on top that faces into the ender chest. Then just place one item in the bottom item hopper. That's going to put the item in the dropper, of course. And then just grab some blocks, place two diagonally like this. Grab two redstone torches, place them on the sides of these blocks, so that the bottom one is powering this hopper and this block. And place one more block here with redstone on top, which is basically going to get powered by this torch. So all this is doing is, this is quickly unpowering this item hopper for one tick. So it grabs the item from this ender chest, if there is an item in there, and it puts it into this item dropper. When we power this block again here, where you're going to place your button, is going to power the item dropper, put it into this item hopper, and put it into the ender chest. But by the time it has reached the ender chest, this torch here has already turned on this piece of redstone dust, so it's not going to grab the item from the ender chest. So let's just see it in action, I guess. We press it. The first time it might not work, but it did, so there's an item in the ender chest right now. We press it again, and there is no item in the ender chest. Press it once more, and there should be an item again in the ender chest. So this is our ender flip-flop, I guess. But as you can see, we have the same issue as we had before. It's not detecting the item, so just remove the chest for a minute and place it again, and it will detect the item. It will power the block, and as you can see, it just starts mining again. So that is the control circuit done, I guess. So if you want to turn this off, you just press the button and it will stop mining. But yeah, it's already done. But as you can see, I place a block here, it doesn't remove it. So last but not least is the 4 other directions. If you paid some attention during the setup of these 2 force manipulators, this is going to be a piece of cake, really easy because it's the same system. We're just going to need 3 more blocks in this formation, like that. And of course we're also going to need 3 more ender chests with other codes. So place these in the 3 other corners, and then just set up any suitable code, I guess. So I'm just going to use the pink again. I'll use one that is like this, another one with one in the middle, and then lastly one with one on the end. So those are my 4 frequencies. Then just grab a comparator, and oh yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to have the same glitch again as before, but you know what to do. If the comparator doesn't detect the ender chest, just remove the ender chest and place it again. The next thing you want to do is stand at the side of the sandstone block. So there is a sandstone block in the there is a block in the middle of this empty space and U, and then just place your force manipulators like this. Just check the directions again. Turn off all of these again on both of them, and just repeat this for every side. So this one is going to be a bit tricky because these things are a little bit in my path, but the system is the same. Disable all of these as well as the bottom one. Repeat it once more for this side. Disable all of them. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom force manipulators. We're just going to put in the... oh god, I don't have any of the square modules or cube modules or whatever it's called. So put in a cube module in the middle on all of these. Like so. And then for the bottom ones, we're going to put in one translation module on the up slot like we did before, only for the bottom ones. Make sure you have all of them. And then for the top ones, we're going to have just 4 scale modules in the matrix thing. Okay, so 4 scale modules. Make sure it's 4. There we go. So these are all set up and good to go. So now the only thing we need to do is the controls. So you're just going to grab these ender chests, place it wherever you want. Make sure you have one of all of them. The one thing that is a bit annoying, I guess, about this whole setup is the ender chest you're using to move the whole thing automatically. So usually what I do is I have 3 controls for the ones that are not getting moved when this is done mining. So I just need to check which one I'm using. Yes, okay. So I have 1 of each of those that are not being used. And then if I want to move in the direction I am mining, I just use a button that I put on top of this block here with a redstone torch on the control circuit, and when we press it, you'll see that it moves absolutely fine. To set up these controls is very similar to this little circuit here. So you're going to need a wooden transfer pipe, a cobblestone transfer pipe, a transfer node, a button, a redstone torch, and a block. And then you're also going to need one of these authority gates. So let's just grab all of these guys. Put the wooden transfer pipe on top of all of them. Oh. Then an authority gate on all of these wooden transfer pipes. Just put it on items in inventory, energy pulsar. And then hook up a cobblestone transfer pipe in the back and a transfer node underneath, like we did before. So once that is all done, we just need to set up the redstone, the little bit of redstone that is needed for this. So just put a block to the side with a torch, so the torch powers the transfer node, and then we just put 7 blocks in the transfer node again, and then just put buttons on all of these blocks, and if we now press one of them, you will see that it moves in the direction we want to. So that all works. Just make sure you don't put it as close as I did to this mining machine, as this is going to get mined eventually by my mining machine. But other than that, I think that is everything I need to cover in this tutorial. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.